because this is something that I hear a lot, but I want to go with you on this one. Somebody, Eleni, who's on Google+. So hi, Eleni. She's actually said that some people have told her to leave her PhD qualification off her CV when applying for non-academic jobs. She disagrees. She's saying, I disagree with this, but what do you think? Eleni, thank you. That's an amazing, I've even gotten great question. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a question I've heard many times before. I mean, I think the key thing to me is to think about your PhD as employment. I mean, you can even think of yourself as a self-employed researcher. So what I encourage people to do is actually think of your sort of your period at university as sort of being your undergraduate, and maybe if you did a master's. But after that, a PhD is a job. You know, it's 3 or 4 years that you're working at that. So what I suggest to people is put that in the employment section. But don't necessarily say just PhD itself, but actually talk a bit more about what you did, like you ran a research project to deliver, I don't know, a patent or a particular output or piece of research. So talk about it in terms of a job and not in terms of just like studying or a qualification. I
absolutely love that advice. I'm going to be borrowing that to give to people when they ask me that question. Yeah, it's absolutely, put it into the employment section. And yeah, what do you think about that, Nadine? Did anybody ever tell, well, I suppose it might have been a bit different for you because you were going into an academic role, but have you ever heard, do any of your friends, has anybody ever said that they've had to do that or thought about doing that?
Yes, definitely. Definitely, especially when we talk about, you know, are there any options in terms of just going into admin, for example, whilst we're looking for another job. I have lots of friends who said, I only go up to A level, maybe even GCSEs, and not even mention the degree, the PhD, any kind of postgraduate qualification. Obviously for my career trajectory, and I haven't done much else, I have to confess, so I'm not of much help there, but of course, I would never leave the PhD off my CV because it's absolutely crucial.
Does anyone else have any points to make on that?
Yeah. Claire, you can go first, absolutely.
And I was just going to say, I really dislike the view that people would leave off such an important
I know. I heard you gasp.
Part of their life.
As I read the question, you gasped.
Yeah. It's also, again, I would echo Chris. I would say, you know, sometimes it's about creative titling in your CV, current role. Don't want to put employment.
And that goes back to what Chris was saying earlier again about, you know, the professionalism of it and thinking of yourself. My advice would be, don't ever do that. Don't ever devalue what you've done to make yourself smaller so that somebody else will accept you. I think that, and if that's the type of environment, then you need to really think about whether or not you're going to be happy there. And I completely get that you need to earn money. I get that, and I know that. Trust me, I've got enough friends and family. I spend every day with people that are struggling to find employment, and I still, that's the one thing that I don't think that you should negotiate on ever.